Welcome. I'm Debra at Eden Garden Center and Florist in Waukene, Kansas, and this is a DIY flower time tutorial. Ever wonder what to do with that rose bowl that you were given as a gift? I'm going to show you how to use that rose bowl to make a small arrangement, perfect for a dining room table, perfect for a coffee table. Another advantage to it is you can use flowers out of your garden since they don't need to have near as long of a stem. So first we're going to go ahead and do our greening. I will sometimes strip the leaves off of the leather leaf. This is leather leaf. And what that does is that helps us to create a grid inside the bowl to add more flowers. And the grid helps to hold flowers. You want to make sure that you don't have any greenery that is touching the water. So I've only partially stripped that branch. And you can use the pieces that you cut off. As many stems as you have in there is going to hold, the better it is to hold your flowers once you put your flowers in. Take off any broken leaves. You will not notice them after you've got your flowers in there. I'm going to be using some soft colors, very feminine colors. This is more of spring colors. Lavender, yellow, pink, and fresh green. Okay. And that's pretty much all the greenery you need for a basic arrangement. I have these beautiful lavender roses. They look a little blue on the screen. This rose is called Ocean Song. I'm going to take off some of the guard petals. If the petals have blemishes, just pull them out of there. If you've got a little bit of bruising at the top of a petal, you can go ahead and just snip that off. And I'm putting 5 roses in this arrangement. And I kind of want a roundish arrangement where you've got, it's kind of shaped like that. Take the petals off before you cut the stem, then you can put it directly into the water. You want to have your water ready before you cut the stems. With roses, if you cut the stem, it will immediately start drinking up water or air if there's no water. When you used to get roses, when your mom used to get roses, or if you can remember years ago when people would get roses, the neck would bend over like this. That means there's an air bubble in the neck. And that means that it wasn't cut properly and handled properly. Definitely need to have a water source available when you start cutting roses. Or any flower, you really should. Okay, so I've kind of got a square with a center. Doesn't have to be that perfect or that symmetrical. I like 3s better. But because I have 5 roses, I went ahead and did a square. Now this is called calcine, and it's a nice filler flower. I normally will put my filler in last, but because the calcine branches out quite a bit, it takes up room, but it will also add to the grid that's on our bouquet. that's in our vase, and it will help hold the rest of the other flowers when we get those in there. And I'll just put a few pieces of calcine around, and you can cut different lengths of the stem. Like most fillers, most greenery, you can cut pieces of the stem and use it all as spread out as you can, which gives you a little more airy feel, but it also makes your flowers go a lot longer, a lot farther. Further, farther, I think further, a lot further. Okay, so we've got our calcine in there, and we can add more if we need to once we've got our other flowers in here. Your first flower, your larger flower, your focal flower, is normally called the main flower or the base flower. And then your secondary flower would be anything that is used sort of like these yellow pixie carnations, anything that's used to kind of complement the flowers that you have in there. Lavender and yellow go great together. Purple and yellow are contrasting colors, so anytime you have anything that's kind of in those same area, it's going to look pretty together. I like lavender, I like yellow, I like all the spring color, I like all colors. So I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to flowers. Excuse me, I think I'm getting a cold. Okay. Very unprofessional. I apologize. Okay, so it's starting to look like a little spring garden. Any foliage below the water line comes off. It will make your water go bad much quicker if you've got that in there. I like to use the different parts of the flower. The small buds that aren't even showing any color are even nice. It just adds to it and makes it look more natural. I think we've got plenty there. So what I'm going to add, the last thing I'm going to add, is called a green cushion mum. These are a fresh green color, gorgeous. Green is very in now. They have propagated so many different kinds of green flowers. You can pretty much make an entire arrangement out of green, and I have. On special request. I had a family that was Irish and they wanted everything to be green. No problem. Lots of choices. There's even green roses. There's one that's called Jade, and one that's called Green Tea, and one that's called Super Green. And they're just different shades of green. And you can't really go wrong with green. It's a natural color, isn't it? Cut all my pieces of mums and try to get them in water as quickly as possible, because like I said, I don't want to cut any flowers and then not have water available. This has a blemished petal. Okay, so my last piece on that stalk we'll put right here. So now this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is done. You can add something else to it if you want a brighter color. Let me add just a couple more strands of calcine to this. I've got a spot right there that would look pretty with some in it. And maybe one more strand. Alright, so you've got a very nice springy arrangement, very simple, perfect for your table. If you want to alter that a little bit, maybe trim down those roses a little, but I think it looks gorgeous. So the last thing I'm going to do is add a piece of ribbon around the base of that rose bowl. And what I'm going to add is what I call a wrap ribbon. It's like a French wrap, but it's on a vase. So I'm going to do this backwards so that you can see what I'm doing. So I take that ribbon and just wrap it around, and then weave it back to the back. Just crisscross them in the back. Very simple bow, and I call that a wrap bow, and it's got the two wraps above the ribbon, or above the tie. And there is your springy arrangement for your table. Thank you for watching. I'm Debra at Eden Garden Center and Florist in Waukene, Kansas, and this has been a DIY Flower Time tutorial. Feel free to check out our other tutorials and also to subscribe.